You're listening to The Implanted Word with Pastor Bill Gim of Grace Church in Amarillo, Texas.
The Implanted Word, your word in me.
Some need a sermon. Some need a sign. Some need a conversation with Jesus. You know any hard cases in your life? Maybe you're the hard case. Who's going to convince them? They just need a conversation with Jesus. Come and see.
If you ask 10 people how their relationship with Jesus began, you'll get 10 different answers. Sure, there may be some similarities, but Jesus meets each of us uniquely so that we can hear and understand who he is. In today's message, Pastor Bill continues to look at the stories of these first followers of Jesus. You'll see that even though Jesus met them where they were, in the ways that worked best for them, those men still had a choice to make. Now, here's Pastor Bill in the book of John, chapter 1, as he continues his message, The First Believers.
I turn from my ways into your love. Humble myself and accept your word. Your word planted in me is able to save my soul. Your word in me, the implanted word. Your word in me, the implanted word.
Now remember with me, this is brand new to these guys. They're just fishermen. They don't have the privilege to have the Gospel of Luke. How Jesus was born in Bethlehem and still comes from Nazareth. Are you tracking with me? We got some details they don't have yet. With a virgin birth, off to Egypt, back in Nazareth, he shall be called the Nazarene. Of course we believe that. But what I'm trying to get you to see is you got to have Nathaniel. Nathaniel's a thinker. Nathaniel thinks he's spiritual. Nathaniel's trying to find out who God is, and then these Jesus freak guys show up. Like, you want me to just be a part of that grocery store deal? I don't think so. I don't think so. So can you see Philip going, hey, we found him, wow. Yes, Nazareth, Joseph. What good thing could come out of Claude, Texas? Not dogging Claude, let me pick on Hereford. What good thing could come out of Hereford? Okay, I won't pick on Hereford. What good thing could come out of Pampa? Might as well go for the whole thing. What good thing could come out of Amarillo, Texas? Especially at that old grocery store at Western Plains. I mean, if you're going to be spiritual, let's talk about Jerusalem. Let's at least talk about something that, we can find, but what? Nazareth? Oh, on top of being spiritual, intellectual, can I tell you he's a little bit prejudiced, maybe a lot prejudiced. What good thing can come out of Nazareth? Yeah, right. Their economy? Their location? Their military? There ain't nothing good about Nazareth. Philip has a dilemma. Same way we get into dilemmas. We're trying to witness to somebody and they come up with this pretty good argument. And then we think, well, we got to argue back better. We'll talk them into it. Oh, really? They might be smarter than you. Almost everybody's smarter than me. What do you do when you got somebody that is just a hard case? They're not trying to be a hard case, but they just are. They got this information. They might be applying it the wrong way. They don't have the total picture. But don't we think like somehow we got to convince you, give you a hope of the reason that lies with? Well, if they ask you a question, great. But sometimes we just want to jump in there and we'll show you. What good thing can come out of Nazareth? I love what Philip said. He actually copied it from Jesus. Come and see. Well, don't you want to argue with me? Nope, just come and see. Don't you want to convince me? No, come and see. I trust Jesus more than I trust me. Come and see. It's just like people all the time, you know, they hear about Radio by Grace, whatever, and then, yeah, they write this church in a grocery store, yeah, under COVID, yeah. Come and see. Then people get here and they go like, wow. Well, what is that? I don't know. It's just Jesus. It's not our fancy building. It sure isn't me. It's Jesus. But when you say come and see, you know, let the Lord do what the Lord can do. Some need a sermon. Some need a sign. Some need a conversation with Jesus. You know any hard cases in your life? Maybe you're the hard case. Who's going to convince them? They just need a conversation with Jesus. Come and see. Philip said to him, come and see. Jesus saw Nathanael. Oh, I want to say thank you, Philip. You're actually giving the best response ever. Come and see. And then Nathanael, I want to yell back and say, thank you, Nathanael. Because he's thinking, okay, great. I'll come and see. Just like people when you say, hey, come over. You ought to check this out. And okay, I'll come. Here comes Nathanael. Jesus sees him coming. I'm grateful Nathanael went. Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him. And Jesus said to Nathanael, behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no deceit. That's actually the truth. Behold, Nathanael, an Israelite, in whom there's no deceit, there's no crookedness, there's no heel grabbing, there's no conniving. You're the real deal, Nathanael. Jesus is an Israelite indeed, in whom is no deceit. Now, wait a minute, Jesus. Right off the bat, you're getting a little too close. It's like you're reading my mind. It's like, how did you know? See, what we don't know when you see that word deceit in the Septuagint, that's actually translated, in whom there is no Jacob. There's no Jacob, the heel grabbing, the conniver, the guy that's always trying to get ahead. There's no Jacob in you. Now, to prove that point, let me see the quote. Morris has it this way, just so you can see. Deceit. This last word is used in early Greek writers as a bait for catching fish. Hence, it comes to signify any cunning contrivance for deceiving or catching. It thus has the notion of deceit or craft. It's used in the Bible of Jacob. It is used in the Bible of Jacob before his change of heart, Genesis 27, which is the point of Temple's translation. An Israelite, right here, an Israelite in whom there is no Jacob. Behold, an Israelite in whom there is no Jacob. What did you just say to me? Behold, an Israelite. I had all these questions for you. What did you just say to me? Behold, an Israelite in whom there's no Jacob. How do you know me? I mean, right off the bat, Jesus says exactly the right thing if you're Nathanael. How did you know? How do you know me? I've been studying that in the Old Testament. I've been meditating upon that. Nobody knows. I've been writing it in my diary. That's where I've been hanging out. I've been looking at Jacob. I don't want to be like Jacob. And then the first thing you tell me, behold, an Israelite in whom there's no Jacob? Who are you? How do you know me? By the way, Jesus knows you. Isn't that great? You think, well, I'm not telling anybody this. He already knows. And about the time somebody said, well, you ought to just come and see. And then you come and see, and then you're hearing things. You hear things like from the Lord, and you're thinking, hey, how did you know? I get that question all the time. People come up and say, how did you know, Pastor Bill? I don't know nothing. God knows. I'm just preaching the text. God knows. Behold, an Israelite, indeed, in whom there is no deceit, no Jacob. Nathanael said to him, how do you know me? Jesus answered and said to him, before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you. What? Now, you have to understand when you say under the fig tree, he's not under the fig tree watching Oprah eating chocolate or any of that kind of stuff. You know, he's to be under the fig tree means that you are in the Word. It's actually Israel. You're in the Word. And they would go out under a fig tree if they have one there. They would actually have their quiet time. It would be like their prayer closet. That's where they would study, under the fig tree, under Israel, under the fig tree. And that's where they would be with God. And what you need to know is that Nathaniel was studying Jacob. He was going through all those stories about Jacob. He was really, really thinking, I don't want to be that Jacob guy. I want to be free of that. And Jacob became Israel, all of that. That's fresh on him. And that's what he was doing. And so for Jesus to say, behold, an Israelite in whom there is no Jacob, it's like, how did you know? I saw you in your prayer closet. I saw what you're writing. I saw you under the fig tree before Philip ever came. Are you reading my emails? Are we on Twitter? How did you know? How did you know? Isn't that great about our Savior? That I don't care who you are or the questions you have, you know, and they might be valid questions, but the answers, you just got to get with the Lord. Have a conversation with Him. Have a conversation with Him. He is well-versed. He already knows everything in your life, and then He knows how to bring that out in lots of different ways. And before you know it, Philip just went and said, yeah, right, a bunch of Jesus freaks is what you are. And then he shows up, and then all of a sudden, Jesus himself is reading his mail. Oh, Nathaniel's response, he can't believe it. How did you know? Jesus said, well, before Philip called you, I saw you when you were under the fig tree. I saw you. Nathanael answered and said to him, Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel. Wow, we go from 0 to 100 like really quick. And it's all true. I know what you've been struggling with. I know what you've been writing. I saw you in the fig tree. Hey, you're not Jacob. You're not Jacob. You're not. Nathaniel, you're not. You're an Israelite in whom there's no Jacob. And it's like Nathaniel says, you know, I believe you're the King of Israel. You're the Son of God. I believe. I'm so glad the story doesn't end there. I mean, that would be one thing. But Jesus now is ready to drop on Nathaniel, who is a student of God's word. John's going to record it for us so that we don't miss the point. For the first time in John's gospel, he's going to tell everybody what his title is according to himself. So he is the Son of God. He is the King of Israel. He is the Christ. He is the Messiah. He is all those things. But notice what Jesus says when all of a sudden you get to, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel. Jesus answered and said to him, because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree. Do you believe? Oh, you will see greater things than these. And he said to them, most assuredly, truly, truly, verily, verily, I say to you, hereafter, oh, hang on, buddy, you shall see heaven open and angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. The Son of Man. Whoa, 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 whoa. We know Son of God, we know Son of Man. In the Gospels, Jesus, 83 times, Son of Man, Son of Man, Son of Man. Why do you keep tagging that? Well, that actually comes out of Daniel. I was watching in the night's vision, behold, one like the Son of Man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He came to the Ancient of Days. They brought him near before him. Then to him was given dominion, glory, and a kingdom that all peoples, all nations, all languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away. His kingdom, the one which shall not be destroyed. He is King of Israel. By the way, he's King of Bill. He is my king. He is Christ Messiah. But in that culture, what you got to know, that was such a politically charged title. He's not afraid of those titles. That's who he is. But in that culture, Jesus, 83 times, I'm Son of Man. I'm Son of Man. I'm Son of Man. If I said it this way, it's bigger than Israel. That's bigger than the United States. That's bigger than, it's just bigger. So Nathaniel, you got it right. I read your mail. I know what you were thinking. I know what you're writing in your diary. I know about it. That's why, behold an Israelite in whom there's no Jacob. I got that. I got it. I'm so glad you're believing. But do you have any idea where we're going with this, Nathaniel? You don't know. I know it's day one. But hang on, buddy. Hang on. Hang on, Peter. We're just getting started. You're a rock. Nathaniel, I need to tell you something. I am Son of Man. And you're going to see things that are going to blow your mind. Now, here's where you got to put the whole thing together. This is where it gets wild. It gets wild. Because if you go back to Genesis, but before I show that, don't show that, let me just repeat here. Nathanael answered, said to me, Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel. Jesus answered, because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree. Do you believe? You will see greater things than these. And he said to him, most assuredly, I say to you, hereafter, hang on, you shall see heaven open, and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. You're kidding. I'm not kidding, Nathaniel. Isn't that what you were writing in your devotional? It wasn't that your study under the fig tree? Weren't you in Genesis chapter 28? Didn't you wonder about when Jacob didn't know what's going on? He had the dream. Can I see Genesis 28, verse 12? Then he dreamed Jacob, and behold, a ladder was set up on the earth. Its top reached up to heaven. And there the angels of God were ascending and descending upon it. This link between heaven and earth, this ladder between heaven and earth. And Jacob, when he's at Bethel, this is like the house of God. Later he wrestles with the Lord Jesus, walks with a limp. His name's changed from Jacob to Israel. Can you see Nathaniel doing a study on Jacob? I don't want to be like Jacob. I want to be like Israel. Then the king of Israel shows up. Behold, an Israelite in whom there is no deceit, no Jacob. How do you know me? I saw you under the fig tree. I know what's on your heart. You must be the Christ. You are the Christ. You are the King of Israel. And he is. And then he took it one step further. I'm the Son of Man. Nathaniel, that ladder in Jacob's dream, it's me. I'm the link between heaven and earth. Angels going and coming are coming through me. I am the Son of Man. Think about that one, Nathaniel. What? Hang on, buddy. We're just getting started. Whoa, Nathaniel, you got a decision to make. Jesus just blew your mind. And yet you still have a choice in the deal. Will you? Or will you not? Hey, John the Baptist, you got your sign. Will you believe or not? Hey, John and Andrew, you got your sermon. That's a pretty good sermon. Looks like it's stable. Yeah, I'm just going to study this label here and memorize it. See all about this ladder and walk around it. Know its history. My friend told me, my bro told me, he's probably just crazy. Every one of them had a choice. Even when Jesus showed up personally, they still had a choice. How many guys walked away without ever going on the ladder? Ever accepting Christ? It's funny about the Lord. He comes and he knocks on your heart. He knows where you're at. Whether it's this witness or that witness, or it's just like, he's so gracious, he keeps coming back. About the time we think, well, we're just smart. You are not smarter than Jesus. And he'll have a conversation with you. He'll compliment you. But then he'll say, you what? Somewhere, you have to stop thinking about it or praying about it. Well, maybe I'm not on the ladder. There's a point in time. Okay, Lord. This is great. I'm saved. By the way, we don't climb our ways to heaven. No, Jesus is the way. But we accept, we acknowledge, we follow, we receive. You say, what does that look like? Well, I've received the ladder. Where are you going? I'm already in the way, the truth, and the life. My anchor's already up there. I mean, I'm on the ladder. He's got me. Well, you're not there yet. Well, I'm going to get baptized now. Woo! Why'd you get baptized? Well, I get to follow him. And it's like, okay, this is a different dynamic from up here. And then I think I'll go to Bible college. You're going to Bible college? Why? Now, I'm on the ladder, but it's an adventure with Jesus. What he told Nathaniel, you ain't seen nothing yet. Hey, Peter, your name's going to be the rock. Just keep going. Well, how far you want me to go? Just keep going. Aren't you scared? I'm not scared yet, but I am a little, okay, Lord, I'm trusting you. Woo! And as young as I used to be. Whoa. Okay. I ain't dead yet. What do you got? I've got an adventure with Jesus that started 48 years ago. And he is good. He is good. Are you better than you used to be? I am more like Christ. I'm closer to heaven, but only by his grace. When did you get saved? The moment I stood on the ladder. The moment I accepted Christ. And Nathaniel, an intellectual, studying this very passage, wanting some kind of answer. Jesus showed up and said, I am the way, the truth, and life. I'm the answer. I read your mail. Nathaniel, I'm the ladder. Let's go.
The implanted word.
Thank you for joining us today on The Implanted Word with Pastor Bill Kim. Pastor Bill has been showing us Jesus through the book of John, and you don't have to go far to find him. John 1:1-4 says, In the beginning was the Word, that's Jesus, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The very thing John does in this gospel is point us to Jesus, and he does this by taking us back to the very beginning. The Implanted Word is a ministry out of Grace Church in Amarillo, Texas. No matter what book of the Bible we find ourselves in, Pastor Bill is going to do exactly what John did. He's going to point us to Jesus. If you're in the Amarillo area and you've never been to Grace Church, you really need to come check us out. We're a diverse, messy group of believers who count on the grace of God every day, and we believe you will fit right in. You can check us out by clicking on the Grace Church link at the top of the page on theimplantedword.com. Once again, that website was theimplantedword.com. We have services on Sundays at 9 and 11 a.m. and on Wednesday nights at 7. If you can't make it in person, you can always find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We're glad we got to spend this time with you. See you next time for more on The Implanted Word.
Your